Welcome to Hospice Wellington. When you first walk into our community services, this is the place you'll start. And we just want to welcome people. Community services is the programs beyond the residents upstairs. So one of the first things I tell people is there are only 3 things to remember about Hospice Wellington. One is that because of kind people like you, there is no cost to people using the services here. The second is wherever you are, we will help. So you may be at home, you may be in hospital, you may be in long-term care, or you may be in the residence. The third one is whenever. So people may start to call us when they have when they're first diagnosed. So we might talk to them for a year. It might be in their last few hours, or it might be when they're dealing with grief, and they don't have to have been with us the whole time. One of the first places people will see is our librarian. And this is a place where we have resources for palliative care, so that's when people are coming to end of life. We have resources for grief, and we also have special resources for children, because children deal with death in all sorts of different ways. So being able to support them at the age level and understanding that they're at. Going down these areas, we'll have support people dealing with grief, dealing with wellness programs, and maybe what I'll do is show you a couple of the rooms. Our consultation rooms. So this one, come in, and you can see right now that we've got it set up for social distancing, so for one-on-one support. The other thing is we're just welcoming back in our massage therapy team. So these are registered massage therapists in the community, and a couple of days a week this room can turn into a massage room. So it may be that the resident themselves needs a massage and they'll go upstairs into the residence, but it may also be a family member dealing with grief who just needs some kind of support, and massage therapy is one of those. So this becomes a very quiet little room for people to get a bit of a break. So art therapy is another piece that we work with. If you want to come in, you can see this room is all set up for social distancing. And it's a wonderful program for people who may not have the words yet, that the art therapist will help them work through with a particular medium. It might be paint, it might be sculpture, and it helps them to start to tell the stories to themselves. This is coming into the residence foyer, and the first person that people are going to meet is one of the friendly volunteers like Donna, to welcome them when they and their families first come in. And I'll show you down here. This is our wing of rooms, and we don't go down there because that's where people live. But each room, there are 10 rooms. Each one has a sofa bed if people need to stay over, a private washroom, a television, a little fridge. So trying to make families feel as comfortable as possible. And the nice green wall makes people feel really welcome. We have amazing volunteers in our kitchen, like Idris. So just trying to make sure that we have support and meals for families when they're here. This is our pollinator garden. Pollination Guelph volunteers and hospice volunteers take care of all the gardens around the building. And as you can see, our porch here, that leads right off the living room. And in the summertime, people can have their beds out on the porch and visit with their loved ones. During COVID, it was extra important because we started being able to wheel the beds out to the living room, and the family could come up and visit through the window, which is really huge because it's such a tough time to be away from your family. So at this time of COVID, when so many people are dealing with loss, I would share with you a couple of tips. One is to make sure you reach out to somebody who may be dealing with loss. Just give them a phone call, because this can also be a really isolating time for people. The second thing is just listen. You know, some of us may need to weep a little bit or to to talk about what we're going through. That's the best thing you can do for people. And Sheryl Sandberg taught us all something when her husband died very suddenly. When she returned to work at Facebook, she said people didn't know what to say, so they didn't say anything. She said one of the kindest things you can say to people is, "How are you doing today?" And often you'll hear people say, "That's right, because today's different than yesterday." But just being there for each other, those are the lessons we learn, and we're happy to share them with you. Well, I often think, what does it mean that we're a part of United Way's family of programs? And I would say it means that this is a community that says, when you're at your most vulnerable, we stand with you. So it might be dealing with people living on the street, it might be with people living in debt, it might be people facing end of life or grief. And the biggest thing for us is reducing isolation. That can be so scary for people. So in the residence, we're always trying to make sure that people get to live out their lives comfortably, respectfully, in a welcoming environment. And then for their loved ones and family members, that they feel whatever they're going through is normal and there's a place for them to talk about that. Oh, what would I tell someone who is thinking about giving to United Way? Well, I'll tell you why I give to United Way. I give to my own organization, and I also give to United Way because we do what we do really well, and other agencies do what they do really well, and we can only do our piece. So we need all that sort of community of support to be strong, because we know that our families may need more than one resource. So when everybody's strong, we can just stand up and be ready when people need our piece of it.